We got to do a song for you.
That had been actually the last day of editing. We've been asking him for this song for a long time. He never came, and we were printing the final edit, and he sent his verse. And we were like, well, it's gonna cost $10,000 to open up the edit. Are we doing it? Absolutely.
Sitting on the house trying to mix the song on my headphones, sending it to Paramount, like, place this at the end, please.
So I just want to start kind of simply, like, what was the genesis of the project? Because you guys, were writers on it. Were you always intending to star in it? Where'd it come from?
Yes, the prompt was it's got to have verse. It's gonna be about Oakland, and it's gonna star us because we didn't know if anyone else would ever put us in a movie. So
Yeah, the process started about 9 years ago. Jess and Keith Calder, the producers on the project with us, reached out to me via YouTube from a poetry video that I had online and said, hey, we think this kind of language would work really well in film. Are you at all interested in writing film? I was like, yeah, I'm interested. It's not exactly a normal question that slides in your DMs, you know? So we were like, yeah, sure. We kept talking about it for a while, and we started collaborating, and then I was supposed to do this show in DC with them for the opening of one of their other films, and I couldn't make it. And I was like, well, my friend David is there. He's a really good rapper. He's not going to do a poem for you, but I'll probably spit something.
fuck poems.
And he did. But they hit it off, and then we all realized, we should probably all just do a project together.
This is also at Obama's first inauguration.
Yeah.
He's bearing the lead there. That's where this performance was. It was like at a screening they were having tied into all of the inauguration events in DC, which is why I was going to be there.
Yeah, and then that was, that was eight years ago or something like that. And we started writing the script then, and we had a bunch of almost making it moments. And then this last spring seemed like the right time to do it.
Did you always know, what did you know you wanted to make it about? I mean, you had those three conditions, but what did you know you wanted to make the film about from the beginning?
Well, early on, Oscar Grant was killed pretty early on in our writing process, so those issues came up. We always came back to, this is a film that has to represent the Oakland that we know on film. We'd never seen that done before in a way that made sense to us, so it was, so that was like whenever we were wondering if we were doing something right, that's what we kept going back to. Well, does it feel honest? Does that actually feel like home? And so because that became part of the discussion so prevalently when we started it, then that's one of the reasons that was initially the impetus for this film, for Colin's instigating incident. But I think what's interesting is how the conversation has changed over time with regards to those things. So when we started, everybody in Oakland was talking about Oscar Grant. His name was said, and his picture was on everybody's T-shirt, and the film we wrote originally was very much about a police shooting and about the specific victim, and
the spectacle that came around it. At that time there were so many more protests around these incidents, and then kind of happened over time as it's in such abundance now, that by the time you even think to organize something about this shooting, there's another one, and we can't keep track. So in this film, you see, it just goes away so fast. It's the inciting sort of moment of the film, but it only sticks with Colin, which is that's the unfortunate part of the prompt, right? Is that the movie just got more relevant to make as time went on, and we sort of hoped it would be the opposite.
Right. And kind of adding on that, a lot has been made already, and the movie's not even out, about comparisons to something like Do the Right Thing. And you can say a lot about thematically how it fits, but to me, what I take away from that is this, the movie's in a way a collection of stories, and there's a lot of different incidents that happen to you guys throughout the course of it, but it's a collection of different stories that build up the theme. And did you always know, and then these kind of two very prevalent climaxes at the end, the one in the parking lot between you two, and then the scene with Ethan at the end. And did you always know, did you kind of work backwards from there, or were you kind of throwing the stories in as you were writing?
Yeah, I mean, those two moments are the oldest thing in the film, so that nigga conversation came about in like a fever dream of Rafa's one night where he like called me at like 4 in the morning, like, I got it.
This is gonna be the most important thing to say. Read it, call me back.
I was like, what? Who are you? He was like working at the University of Madison at the time, like, and he called me and sent me this thing, and I sort of was like, oh, my friend's an asshole and he's crazy, and then I started reading it, was like, oh shit, and I called it back. And we sort of spiraled down that rabbit hole in that, and pretty much that scene, I mean, the version of that scene that we shot was twice as long.
More. It's like a 9-minute scene. It's all
Yeah.
one take. Then we cut it down to 2:40.
Yeah, thank God.
Thank God.
But Carlos made us run it all the way through. We never broke it up to shoot it. So we were doing this 9-minute thing. We did it. We said we'll do this 8 times, and he made us do it 12 times. But yeah. So you know, that was in there for a long time. And that final scene was really. Rafa had written most of those bars as like a placeholder, and we kept, in all of our conversations about the film, we would like get to the end, and it was so, you know, finally like, it's just like, all right, we know this is happening here, this is a placeholder, you'll go over it, you'll like you'll like really digs it up, and do the whole thing. And we got like a week away from shooting, and I read the thing probably for real for the first time in years, and I was like, this shit's really good, man. I don't think I'm gonna change any of this. All I wanna do is add like 4 bars right here in the middle just because I have a rhythmic idea I wanted to try out. But other than that, that writing has pretty much stayed the same for 7 years or something like that. So yes, we were sort of working our way back. We knew that those 2 things were in the film, so how do we justify those moments in a comedy?
Right.
Yeah.
And then when did Carlos get involved? How did that kind of come about?
Carlos really got suckered into this.
Yeah. It was a trick.
Yeah. Jess and Keith, our producers, flew to New York to sit with me and see if there was any way to make this film happen. We sort of started talking about it last year at the beginning of March, and our only chance to shoot it was 22 days in June. It's the only 22 days that Diggs had open in his schedule to do a long shoot like that. And we had a draft of the script that was 3 years old. And so they were sitting down and they were like, is there any world where this can happen in that amount of time? I was like, yeah. And they were like, well, do you want to direct, or is there somebody that you'd want to direct? And I was like, well, we've never even done that amount of acting before in the film. We'll start there, and we're going to produce it, we're writing it, but let's bring on a director that we trust. And Carlos was waiting at a cafe like a block away to meet with me for something totally unrelated for the Bars program in New York. Bars is
Yeah, there's bars around here.
Bars when we're here. And y'all better be